Hello, my name is Margarita Maria Fultz-Fields, and you can call me Rita. I would like to take a few minutes of your time to shed some light on an appalling global issue that shouldn't be an issue at all in the United States of America. This is food insecurity. And currently the statistics that help to define this unrelenting symptom of persistent poverty plagues too many communities and households. What is food insecurity, you ask? This is when a family has very limited, meager, or the uncertain ability to get food in socially acceptable ways. Food insecurity is one of the most prevalent symptoms of poverty in the United States. What makes food insecurity and hunger in America so appalling is the fact that we are a developed country. We assist other countries that are developing to deal with catastrophic levels of starvation and numerous illnesses and consequences of such, and our own citizens suffer from. The consequential health crises, mental health problems resulting from poor nutrition, and a growing list of chronic diseases that researchers associate directly to household food insecurity. Between 2002 and 2010, U.S. households affected by food insecurity rose from 11.1% to 14.5%. At what juncture are we going to seriously consider the implications of such and create an action plan to eliminate this issue, which truly has a domino effect in undermining the stability of American society and stands to significantly tarnish the United States' reputation as a shining example in global leadership, freedom, and democracy for the entire public good, not just the middle class and those considered rich. There are a few highlights that I would like to cover, some of which are the empirical research that has painted a very frightening picture for children in these households, as those who have developmental delays, significant educational challenges, irreversible cognitive and mental defects, and who are at the highest risk for aggression, depression, and anxiety. These children are also at risk to develop asthma and other respiratory issues that place a horrific burden on our Medicaid system. There is no lovely childhood for children experiencing food insecurity as infants, toddlers, or even on a frequent basis at any age under 18. Households suffering from food insecurity become so desperate that parents and caregivers who want to make food available to themselves and the children affected are highly likely, in their compromised mental state, to do anything to get food, and not necessarily nutritional varieties of sustenance into their households. There is a correlation between high crime statistics and food insecurity within the United States. The United States has continued a tradition of being a culture that has catered to the middle class, and an overall culture of inequality which overlooks the needs of the lowest in our socioeconomic society. Violent crime and aggression in our schools is beginning to get the attention of the General Assembly, the mainstream media, and the middle class in these crime statistics, as these crime statistics are increasing in correlation to households that are desperate to feed their children. Diabetes, obesity, heart disease, various mental disorders, and even specific types of cancer, as well as a body of research growing in these areas, are overlapping where poverty and food insecurity are concerned. Food insecure homes are 7 times as likely to have members who are obese due to eating inexpensive, high-fat foods that they are able to access more easily than fresh produce and a variety of foods that would yield beneficial nutritive values. The most plausible policy suggestions are going to have to come from think tanks United States' brightest minds, and nonprofit leadership and direct service workers who have observed this issue, its further implications, and the resulting outcomes up close and personal. This collective group may suggest an approach to rectify this terrible trend. Implementation teams made up of nonprofit, for-profit, philanthropic, governmental, and social service experts will be needed to place these plans in action. Advocacy and innovation are needed in the trenches for America's hungry households. Currently, there are 17.4 million households suffering from food insecurity made up of families who are poor. The infrastructure to allow for success of action plans must be revamped. In other words, programs currently enforced by the United States Department of Agriculture have to find improved methods of reaching rural and urban impoverished households affected by food insecurity, above and beyond the best case scenarios represented by our existing SNAP and WIC programs. Access and availability is key. Psychologists and sociologists may contribute to developing approaches to distribution that would reduce or eliminate the shame, embarrassment, and stigma associated with using SNAP and WIC benefits by the poor. The national percentages have passed a level of significance. The sheer numbers of households affected with research have reached alarming numbers, and the current systems and policies must be transformed in order to turn this unlovely issue around to provide access to every American household to adequate food and nutrition. Through coordinated, strategic, and comprehensive plans of action based on existing and growing research and statistics, we can feed Americans and eliminate food insecurity. American households can no longer remain oppressed by food insecurity in a democracy that the world regards as the land of the free and the home of the brave. Thank you so much for listening. It is my greatest hope that food insecurity is one of the symptoms of persistent poverty in the United States that we can entirely eliminate by the year 2030. Not only is the future of our image as a global example of democracy, liberty, and freedom at stake if we don't act to address this appalling statistic, but our existence as an overall healthy, thriving, and progressive population will cease to exist if food insecurity is not regarded as a top priority. Have a wonderful holiday season, and again, I thank you.